EA Sports and the R&A are proud to present opening round coverage of the Open Championship. Frank, when you come to the old course at St. Andrews for the Open Championship, you can just about hear the legends whispering to you. So many of the greats have made their mark right here.
It's the oldest, it's the best, and it's the one course that everybody, no matter where they're born, wants to play. Every great player has played St. Andrews, and that will be well in advance after our time, Rich. It's just something special. When you see it and play it, you'll see the reason why.
That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Frank, this first hole, all about the Swilcan Burn.
Yeah, it cuts in so close to the front of that putting surface. If there's just a puff of wind, then all of a sudden that burn that you could just step across very much comes into play.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Just a pure strike, and a perfect result. He'll have a good look at birdie now. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Now putt for par.
Well, not in contention, but in for par. Here we are now at the second. Always so important to try and establish a good round in these opening holes, Frank.
Yeah, in the second hole, especially with a prevailing breeze and today's modern equipment, the odd player has actually driven this green, but you really see the tone of the golf course. The middle of the golf course is protected. There's a series of bunkers down there, but the left is always the safe side of the golf course, but the best line to play your second shot from on the whole golf course is always the right side, and we see that here at the second.
Frank, that's as good as I have seen all day long.
I think we've got to blame that on the weather. The wind had to help that ball give it another 20, 30 yards.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
And he's made it onto the green. Shouldn't be a problem here. So just getting started, even par so far. At the third hole now, Frank, it looks relatively easy, but you know there's some danger lurking somewhere out there on the old course.
There is. There's the pot bunkers down the right side. This is a tee where really you want to have an idea where that wind is coming from. If it's into your face, you might want to be a little cautious and go towards the middle of the golf course. But if it's behind you, well, then it's worth challenging that right side.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one. That's an absolute beauty.
Strong winds have been a factor all day here, Frank. What's the key to scoring low in conditions like this?
Well, sometimes you've almost got to make the ball go to ground. You've just got to keep it out of those high breezes, play away from the trouble.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. And that one ends up about 25 feet from the hole. Settles in over the putt. That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Drops it, and he's at even par. We have already begun. Let's pick up with the action at hole number 4. Early in the round, still holding steady, even par on the day.
Yeah, it's got that feel it could go either way here. Next few holes will probably tell us which way.
Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. That one is well off target. Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here. Well, it's a big green. He's managed to get it smack bang in the middle of it.
Not a gimme, but well within his range.
Well, the 4th hole looks like it's going to claim another victim.
So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. So long for now. EA Sports and the R&A are proud to present second round coverage of the Open Championship. Welcome to the Open Championship, the oldest major in golf. Frank, there really is nothing quite like it. The old course at St. Andrews combined with the Open Championship, it's bathed in history.
The golf course is magnificent. It just reeks of all the great players that have played the game. Pick your hero, whether it's a Bobby Jones, a Nicklaus, a Rory McIlroy, a Tiger Woods. All the greats have been there and played this marvellous course. It stood the test of time. And even the routing, the old 9 holes out, turn around and 9 holes in. It's marvellous.
Now at the 6th, not a particularly long hole, Frank, par 4.
Yeah, semi-blind tee shot. You've got an idea where you want to hit, but there's a series of 3 bunkers. They're called the coffins down the left side, as well as some pop bunkers down the right. So this requires a very accurate tee shot. That's fine.
Frank, this is just a pleasure to watch. A player hitting on all cylinders at the top of his game.
Notice it's just flowing too. There's not a lot of deep analysis going through his mind. Just one step in front of the other. If your swing's there, you don't have to find it. If your putting stroke's there, you don't have to find it. Just let it happen.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Knows it is a 4-round tournament, setting himself up for a good weekend, maybe a great one. The young star makes his birdie. Over the ball here at the 7th, and Frank, if you had to script a game plan here, what would it look like?
You could drive this pretty close to the green. This is a green that's shared with the 11th, the par 3. And so you won't see that tee shot finish, but you can actually drive very, very close to a bunker called the Shell, which is the one that protects the par 3 11th. Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole, this for birdie. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. How does that not go in?
Amazing. Stroke looked good. Line looked good. Just did not take that final break.
This would give him the par. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Par 3 eighth hole here at the Open Championship. And Frank, why is it so difficult to get the ball close here?
Well, there's the bunker on the left side. There's a little bit of a downslope there. This is the first par 3 that you'll play, and it's just tough to judge that distance perception. You've really got to be accurate on your yardage here.
Part of the experience of playing the old course at St. Andrews is not only the history, but also the caddies. Witty, wisecracking caddies. Guy once hit a ball hard left into a gorse bush, and he turned to his caddy and he said, "Is that okay?" And the caddy, little Jimmy, said, "Does it look okay? Hit another one? Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt." This one's tracking. So into the top 15 on the leaderboard with that birdie. A few more, and who knows, maybe top 10 or top 5. Always so important to finish your first 9 holes on a positive note here at the Open Championship.
Yeah, the 9th hole, this is the most extreme part, furthest away from the clubhouse, in the middle of the loop here. A good drive, though, that avoids those bunkers has every chance of finding this par 4 with your tee shot.
That one was running so hot. Second shot coming out of the rough here.
I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
That's how you maintain momentum. You make those putts for par. Frank, not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark.
And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie.
It's no snack, though.
Needs a few more of those. That was a good birdie.
Yeah, this time, that one gets him in the top 10.
Frank, right where you want to be at the midway point of a tournament.
Yeah, you know your game's solid. The focus is more on the leader, and that you can just go out and play. Excellent position to be in.
EA Sports and the R&A are proud to present third round coverage of the Open Championship. Continuing from the oldest championship in the game, it's the Open Championship at the old course at St. Andrews, here at the 7th hole now, Frank.
Yeah, you try and hit your tee shot over a little stone there. It's called the March Stone. That's a good line for like left of center. And, well, if you can just work it off that, good tee shot. You're only going to have a pitch in here to a green that's set up very high.
Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one.
Well, it's going to take a good one here considering what they've already gone through, Rich. Right now, that green is going to look very small, so it's going to take a good shot here to give himself an opportunity.
Some really poor play to this point.
Should be safely on deck.
You can't ask for much more than that. About 5 feet away. Beautifully done. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Racking them and stacking them right now. 6 under par for the tournament. Frank, now at the par 3 8th, and how challenging is this hole?
Well, it's called short on the scorecard, but massive green. The problem here is trying to hit it close. A lot of little subtle breaks and undulations in this green, and often you see long, long birdie putts here.
Well, this is going to be an interesting day. The wind is howling, or as they would say in Scotland, just a wee breeze. Well, that one didn't work out. Didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
Second shot. Good look at the green. And he's made the green. Settles in over the putt. Tough game, Frank. You can hit 300-yard drives and miss 3-foot putts.
Yeah, there's the ecstasy, and that's the agony.
Just a couple of feet.
I don't think a tourniquet is going to work after that one.
Tough to watch. Frank, the old course all about avoiding the pot bunkers. They're so nasty. This is a good example here, the 9th hole.
Yeah, the pot bunkers really to be avoided are the ones in the middle of the fairway, but there are some that sneak in on the left side, plus that gorse on the left. If you can carry that last one, which is called the end hole, then there's a chance to perhaps drive this green.
Frank, you played in conditions all over the world. Here come the winds now. What's the mindset?
Well, this is really what separates the men from the boys. This is where you've got to tell yourself, and it's an advantage to you. Obviously, the scores will go up a little bit, given the conditions. But once again, this is going to suit the stronger player today.
You like the old phrase, swing easy when it's breezy?
Definitely when you're hitting it into a head breeze. But down breeze, tee it up a little bit, try and ride that wind some more. game's about rhythm. When you have good rhythm, it just looks effortless. To hit the ball 300 yards through the air, that easy.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Great effort right there, and a great chance to knock in that short putt. Birdie try again here today. Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. That's good work. That's a good par right there. Now at the 10th, and Bobby Jones loved this hole, didn't he?
And that's why it's been renamed Bobby Jones. Drivable for a lot of the players, but if you're going to have a crack at this green, avoid the gorse down the left side, as well as the two pot bunkers that are in line with the right side of this green.
Frank, why are great rivalries so important? Why do we love them?
I think because people like to sit on one side of the fence. You're either for or against a great player. And I think we see that today with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. There's the McIlroy fans that think his future is so bright. There's the Woods fans that still want him to pass Jack Nicklaus's record. That's the beauty. You've got to have an opinion, and you have to have a player.
110 yards now, and let's see what the wind is going to do. And through the grass up, you can see it's a helping breeze. All in all, Frank, doesn't look too bad.
Just maybe a little right of the flag.
Birdie try up next. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Well done. Frank, what are we looking at here at the famed par 3 11th at the Old Course?
Well, the most difficult, there is only two par 3s here at the Old Course, and this one's called High, elevated green, and you've got to fly that bunker that protects the front of the green. That's called the Strath bunker. Really take anything on this green. You make a two here, you'll make a move on the field.
I don't know that approach will make the highlight reel, but he still has a chance if he makes this putt.
Yeah, 21's when you come of age, don't they say? 21 feet away. Even par, currently.
That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
No, sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
And getting ready for the putt. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. 3 rounds in the books. Outside the top 10, going to the final 18. Frank, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think you're going to have to approach the final round in a couple of different phases. Try and be aggressive early on. If you do get a few birdies in the bank, you really still can fancy yourself with a chance to win. It'll all depend on that start tomorrow.
EA Sports and the R&A are proud to present final round coverage of the Open Championship. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Just a bit offline here, Frank, but not too bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the wind or just the lie there. Should be okay.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, getting him another good look. 10-foot putt left. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. You love to watch him disappear, don't you? Now to the par 3 11th, and Frank, what's the key here?
Well, this green is slightly elevated. Huge false front, sort of left and right of that Strath bunker. And, of course, that bunker on the hill, or should I say that bunker on the left is called Hill. That's the famous bunker where Bobby Jones couldn't get out of it many years ago and actually ripped up his scorecard. So a good tee shot here, just find that right level where the flag is.
Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday.
A few more birdies like that, Rich, you never know, just might sneak. Placed on the podium?
In the top 10 right now. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Sensational effort, an eagle. Not a good move on the leaderboard.
Name up there in bright lights. Interesting to see if that gets a little attention.
Moving on now to the par 4 13th. Frank, what's the strategy here?
Once again, to avoid those pot bunkers, the first one is called Nicks, and then the other two up ahead, once again, they're called the Coffins. Somehow you've got to go right or left of those or beyond those. If you can go in the exact right position, which is slightly left center, you will actually have a full view of this green. The left or right of that, then it's a blind second shot.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. 14 feet to the hole. Oh, I thought he had that. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you think, cleaning up here for par.
No damage done, made the par. Frank, you can actually play this 14th hole by taking a detour to another hole on the front side. Explain.
Yeah, that's the 4th hole. The 4th hole is adjacent to the 14th, and if you're in a little bit of trouble off the tee, there's nothing wrong with playing the 14th as a zigzag style par 5. So that means the drive, if it doesn't go down the right, you go further left and then back to the green. But it's a safer way, but a much longer option.
We moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible. This would give him an eagle on the card. Wow, and with that eagle, Frank, now only 2 shots back.
All of a sudden put the name back into the mix just when we thought it might be too late.
Back here at the 15th, and Frank, this fairway narrows up in a hurry.
And it's also, there's a big crop of heather that sort of constrains you if you're going to hit it just straight down the middle. Only the brave go down the right side. It brings in those little bunkers called robs, and they'll rob your scorecard, that's for sure. That was terrible.
Frank, this is where a golfer's mind is really tested here after hitting one out of bounds.
Well, on the flip side, though, Rich, you know what you've done wrong. So erase it. Time to put a good swing on it.
This will be the 3rd shot after being penalized for going out of bounds. With that ball nestled down just a bit in that heavy rough. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Unable to square up the club face, Frank.
It was always starting right, and it looks like it's staying there.
Continuing his fine play. Another beautiful approach shot. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Frank, that bogey really hurts. Frank, the 16th hole, famous for the principal's nose, and I can't help but think of Mrs. Hartman from 4th grade.
Well, I don't know.
She didn't like us.
I don't know how Mrs. Hartman would have played this hole, but she would have been wary of the out of bounds on the right, and that's why the general consensus is you not only avoid the principal's nose, but you hit the tee shot a little bit further left. It might lengthen the hole, but it is certainly the more prudent strategy.
Second shot. Good look at the green. I think this one looks like it might have a postage stamp on it. Airmail City.
Yeah, lick it. Send it. It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Pretty good shot right there. Not a gimme, but well within his range. He'll take par and move on. Frank, the 17th hole, you can get room service along the way here?
You can. If you flare one right there, you'll also pay a penalty for out of bounds. And so that hamburger better taste good. It better be worth it. A little left of that, a little left of the out of bounds, and you're left with a second shot. It's fairly daunting because you have the road hole bunker to avoid and the road behind the green. Hence the name.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Good-looking shot right here. Frank not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich. It's that sneaky distance.
That is some good work right there. Birdie, one shot closer to the lead. Headed for home now with a Royal and Ancient behind the green, a chance to cross the Swilken Bridge, just as Jack Nicklaus did, as Arnold Palmer did, as so many of the legends of the sport have done. This is a special place in the game.
What a great shot. Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
Chance to get it close here. Outstanding strike right there, right off the center of the club face, and a good chance for birdie. Par yesterday, now for birdie.
That's the cruelest thing about this game, Rich. I mean, it's another shot.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall.